Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and it's time for another fun Christmas card. Hey, so I'm using Jada Blossom's Build-A-Booth Winter Add-ons, their Gnome Baked stamp set and outline dies, their Merry Christmas Gnomey stamp set and outline dies, their Gnome Dies Gingerbread Add-ons, the Build-A-Booth Gingerbread House, the Girl Gnome Dies Hair Add-ons, and the Build-A-Booth die from Jada Blossom. I'm also using Sunny Studios All Is Bright 6-inch pad, along with P13 stamping pad skin tones from Jada Blossom and Gingerbread Kisses from Doodlebug 6-inch pad. So first I have the booth cut out of paper from that All Is Bright 6-inch pad from Sunny Studios. And then I cut it out of Paper Trank white cardstock, and I'm layering that same paper on top of it. Then I'm adding the little chimney that was put together, before the video, just with Paper Trank white cardstock and red cardstock from that same All Is Bright 6-inch pad from Sunny Studios. Next, I have the little scallop trim, and I did layer that up with the teal cardstock from All Is Bright, along with Paper Trank white cardstock. Then I'm going to add another layer of that Paper Trank white cardstock just to keep things nice and level. So when it crosses over the chimney, everything stays nice and flat. So there we are, just using my Bearly Art glue and my reverse tweezers. All my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine, working on a Stampin' Up! Pad, all the same old stuff. So now I'm going to add my scallop little trim to the top of this gingerbread house. Super cute stuff. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. So now I have some Distress Oxide ink and mustard seed and a little tiny mini blending brush, and I'm just going to ink blend on some Paper Trank white cardstock. So I cut the window out of the Paper Trank white cardstock for the frame of the window and the inside of the window, and I ink blended that Distress Oxide ink toward the center to make it look like it's glowing. That's what I was going for. And it saves a step, right? You can just use the ink. Distress Oxide inks are my favorite inks. I tend to use those the most out of all my inks, other than the ones that I use, Versafine Claire Nocturne ink for stamping sentiments. Okay, so now I am looking at my little booth, and I'm going to remove the top of my booth, just using my scissors. There we go. And then I will add that roof on once I get it on a card base, like just to sort of, have a look. So I'm going to add the little candy cane little posts. Those were put together using that All Is Bright 6-inch pad and Paper Trank white cardstock. Remember, there is an assembly video for this set, so if you want to watch me do that, and put everything together, you can. So now I have the little door that was put together with that All Is Bright 6-inch pad along with Paper Trank white cardstock. There we go. Now I leave my mistake in. I completely forget about my candy canes. So I'm just going to add the windows in the wrong place. Now remember, you can do this. You can add your windows wherever the heck you want. I'm just telling you that this was not what I had pictured. So it was like, darn it, I've made a mistake. So I pull them up, and then I'm going to add my little candy canes first on either side of the door. And then I will slip in the windows behind the candy canes a little bit. So the windows are slightly obscured by the candy canes. But this is what happens when you're making cards, right? No one knows about that but you and me. So I'm just going to slip those in. And there we go. Using those reverse tweezers. Oh no, I'm just going to use my fingers this time. So just trying to get things level on both sides, covering up the boo-boo at the same time. And there we go. And I do weight it down with an acrylic block. Okay, so now this is a Paper Trank white card base, 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder. Now I'm just lining up that roof so it'll fit on my card front. There we go, and I do weight it down. Okay, so next I'm pulling out, this is from the Build-A-Booth Winter Add-ons, and I just cut these icicles out of Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock. So there we are. It's kind of iridescent, right? I did cut out one of the little snowdrifts thinking I might use that as well, but I don't. I'm going to add in my little gumdrops that was cut from that same 6-inch pad from Sunny Studios. And then that same white glitter cardstock from Simon Says Stamp. There we go. Super cute little gumdrops, right? And remember, you can decorate your house however you like. This is like a house booth, I guess you'd want to call it. But like I said, you can decorate this however you like. You don't have to follow how I do it. I'm going to add a couple of these gingerbread, a couple of these gumdrops to the top of the roof for fun. There we go. And isn't that cute? I just think it's super cute stuff. There we are, and I do weight it down. Now, this little girl I put together on the assembly video for one of these things. So, you know, I'm just going to pop her up on the inside. Her little dress and her hat are from that Doodlebug Gingerbread Kisses 6-inch pad. And I'm going to pop her up using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. So she's stuck down flat behind the booth, but then her head is popped up in front of the roof. So now I have some tumbled glass Distress Oxide ink, and I'm going to ink blend with a big blender brush on the front of my card base. You know, so sort of, you know, getting it a little bit more denser on the center and then fading it out on the sides. Then I'm going to add a 1-inch strip of that same Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock to the bottom of my card base. And that'll just, you know, represent snow. And then I will trim off that overhang with a pair of scissors. So easy stuff. There we are. And then you'll see that, you know, where my ink blending isn't perfect behind the house, no one cares. No one can tell. It'll be hidden mostly by my booth and the little girl that's peeking out of the booth. So no harm, no foul. And my little chimney will sort of peek up above the fold of my A2 size card front. And I'm not too worried about that. I'll just put it in a larger envelope. I wanted it sitting more on top of the snow. There we go. It's not a big deal. Like I said, I'll just put it in a bigger envelope. Probably an A6 one instead of an A2. There we go. I had a little hair stuck in there. Thinking I'm going to, maybe am I using that snowdrift or not? So now on the inside, I'm going to add some paper. I believe that's from the 6-inch All Is Bright 6-inch pad from Sunny Studios. If not, it's from the Gingerbread Kisses 6-inch pad from Doodlebug. Either or. Just a strip of candy paper. Then I'm going to add some gumdrops. You know, these are from that Build-A-Booth gingerbread add-ons, gingerbread house add-ons. There we are. And then I'm adding a little doorknob. That is from Doodlebug's Sprinkles Christmas assortment. So it's just an enamel dot. There is a paper piece that you can cut, but I decided to go with a dimensional little dot. Now I'm going to add another little gumdrop that she'll be holding. And that is from the, what's it called? The Gnome Dies gingerbread add-ons, I believe. So I cut it out of Paper to Ink white cardstock, P13 stamping pad skin tones. Remember, those are available at Jaded Blossom. And then the little gumdrop is that same Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock. So there we go. So now I'm going to add another gumdrop, you know, the same size as the one she's holding, to the inside. And that is just cut from paper from that All Is Bright 6-inch pad from from Sunny Studios. There we go. Now I'm going to do some stamping. So I've got a little paper scrap here of Paper to Ink white cardstock. And I'm going to stamp 2 sentiments, one on the front, one for the front, and one on the inside. There we are. And I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and my Misty. So Magical Christmas Wishes and Gnome Kisses and Goody Goody Gumdrops are the 2 sentiments. They're both perfectly, you know, they're both exactly what you'd want for this card, right? So Goody Goody Gumdrops will be going on the outside of my card. There we go. I'll stamp it a couple of times just to get a nice impression on my stamped sentiment. So I did use the outline dies to cut those sentiments out, and I'm just using some scrap cardstock for the back. of these sentiments. I could have cut the outline die out a few more times and, did some surgery, but I decided just to use some, scrap pieces of paper, and I will layer up behind them because I'm going to be, straddling some stuff on the front of this card, and I didn't want the, the sentiment to dip at all. So there we go. And then, like I said, I'll add it to the front of my card with some glue. That Barely Art glue again. There we go. And no one will see the back of that. And there you have it. Super cute, right? Goody Goody Gumdrops. And then on the inside, that, magical Christmas wishes and gnome kisses. Isn't that cute? I just think it's super cute sentiment. I love the fonts from Jada Blossom. And there we go. I just think that is adorable. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jada Blossom blog, Be Inspired by the Team, the Jada Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Make sure you are a follower over at Leanne K YouTube site and the Jada Blossom YouTube site. Bye, everybody.